As you can see, I think the key takeaway is that there is a lot of data. This data often tells stories. The media are not using that data so often. What Code for Africa does as a non-profit organization is to democratize access to data, make it accessible. On Pesayezu, Kenyan citizens and Kenyan journalists can see how their money is used, how both donor money is used, but also how taxpayers' money is used in each county, so on a local level. And this will raise awareness around the use of public money. But data is not just numbers, it's also images. And this works as a segue to AfricanDrone, finally, which is the other key initiative I want to show you. So I'll let Chris introduce AfricanDrone to the audience, and then I'll ask him a couple of questions. So over to you, Chris.
Good morning. Good morning. Around 2010, anyone who did an online search for the word drone will find mostly, you can all guess, something to do with war fronts, bombing, destruction, and that kind of stuff. Right now, 12 years later, is nice to be able to say that anyone who does a search on the word drone right now will mostly find consumer-based drones mostly doing good stuff, things with good impact. Around 2017, anyone who was planning to travel from another country to Kenya or lots of African countries or lots of countries in the world with a drone, if you Googled something like, can I travel to Kenya with a drone? Most of what you'll find was drones are illegal. Your drone will be confiscated at the airport by customs. Your drone will be stuck in customs and you'll probably get it or not get it back. It's so nice to know that that is not very different in like so many countries in Africa. In 2017, one of my co-founders of AfricanDrone, Johnny, a journalist, wanted to do some work in Nairobi, and he wanted to use drones for aerial imagery. And this seemed to be very difficult for him to do. Back then, AfricanDrone didn't exist. And he tried to get info on, can I really come to Kenya with my drone, or will it get stuck in customs like the hundreds of others which were stuck before? And then Johnny reached out to me. Back then I had a drone business running in Nairobi. And through this collaboration, he was able to come with no drones, and using my company, we were able to get his work done. But this got us thinking, this is a challenge that we needed to fix for lots of people, because as a drone journalist, I also had the same problem wanting to go to Tanzania, or Uganda, or South Africa. It was also difficult for me to go to other countries with drones. And this led to us forming AfricanDrone, which is a network for civic drone journalists or drone pilots and drone users, creating a Pan-African network with access to other people in the industry, equipment, and that has further grown into funding for projects, trainings, and through this we've been able to do multiple projects in different parts of Africa. And the project I want to talk about today specifically is one called Unequal Scenes. And somewhere in so many parts of the world right now, there's a family of 6, maybe 8, living in a 30 square meter house. And the neighbors are probably like 2 meters away. And just 40 meters away from that, there's a family of maybe 3, maybe 4, living in a 200 square meter house. And these people, their worlds are so different from each other. They don't really get to see what the other side of the divide sees or experiences. And this only became possible when we were able to tell the stories using drones. Like in the image you can see, we have, that's in Cape Town, and we have one neighborhood, like a township informal settlement, right next to a very wealthy neighborhood. And the two worlds are very divided, they don't get to see each other. And using drones, we've been able to tell these stories in 15 countries right now, more than 15 countries and more than 25 cities. And this has gotten so much attention in the inequality, on people who are interested in the inequality topic. And just using such powerful images, we'll be able to bring inequality to the forefront. Drones are probably not able to change their lives or to change the lives of people who live in informal settlements, but we're able to tell one story at a time, and this story gets the right attention, which is able to be the beginning of what needs to be done to bring some kind of change.
So I'll use the last, I think, maximum 5 minutes to ask Chris a few questions. If I understood correctly, AfricanDrone is now a coalition of drone pilots in Africa who want to use drones for positive change. And it got the attention of the Time magazine. We showed the cover page of the Time magazine. It organized an event in Lake Kivu in Rwanda, and I think Mami also is aware of that. We want to also build on what she told us yesterday. It's a coalition of drone pilots. So my question is, how can AfricanDrone be useful to other drone pilots in Africa who want to use your approach?
So for other drone pilots in Africa, AfricanDrone is able to offer just a big network of other drone users in Africa. We already have a long list of members, around 400 members right now in 28 countries in Africa as of now. We're able to offer access to trainings in drone journalism. We also offer seed funding. The last we did was in 2019, before COVID happened. And just access to information that is otherwise not easy to get as an individual.
That's cool. Do I have time for another question, or should I wrap up? Probably. Okay, a very quick one. How do you measure success? Like if you want to share, the indicators you as AfricanDrone use to measure success with the public. Like, how would you say you'll be successful within, the next few years?
In 2017, at the beginning, there were only 3 members: myself, Freddie from Dar es Salaam, and Johnny from Cape Town. And over time, we've been able to grow the membership to around 400 members right now in 28 countries. It was 3 back then. This is one of our indicators of success. And one big thing that we did in 2019 and 2020, the World Bank had a challenge called AfricanDrone Forum, which was so initially it was called Lake Victoria Challenge, and later called Lake Kivu Challenge, and the whole program is called AfricanDrone Forum. And this was about this was a challenge for drones to take part in emergency medical supplies delivery. This happened in Lake Victoria, in a city called Mwanza in Tanzania, and in 2020 in Lake Kivu in Rwanda. And AfricanDrone was the main communications partner that was kind of commissioned by World Bank. So this was one of our most successful projects.
Yeah, with a lot of media coverage. So drone pilots through Code for Africa and AfricanDrone can get media coverage they wouldn't usually get, as proven by the many publications that we can show you. So for those who want to know more, because I know that there are a lot of other speakers, please reach out to us, Jacopo Ottaviani and Chris on AfricanDrone. So yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you again.